What's up guys, this is Save Knight and welcome back to Wizardry Tale of the Forsaken Land for the PS2. This will be bonus episode number 1 where I show off all the different sorcerer and priest spells. I actually loaded up a alternate save that I had from like older games that was on my memory card where I already had like all the spells and shit. Like for that, like I ended up getting him and her all the sorcerer spells just because, and then him all the priest spells, and then same thing for her, but like, you know, priest and sorcerer. I'll go ahead and show off all those, and I picked B8 because that's a fairly good test place to do it. Enemies aren't too weak, aren't too strong. I'm gonna just start with sorcerer and work my way to priest. Like, you know, do all the sorcerer 1 through 7 and then priest 1 through 7. So let's get started. Here we have Coretta. We have fire damage to 1, so that's still kind of yeah. Hardy, that increases the user's evade by 10. Spleam, that attempts to put a row of enemies to sleep. That looks like it worked. Then Teal, small thunder damage to a row of enemies. Yaiba increases the damage of 1 person and lets him kill undead. Zitiel, I guess like medium lightning damage to a row of enemies. Yeah, still kind of crap. And you all know the map spell, which is like another level 2 spell. Yeah. Coretta, that deals large fire damage to a row of enemies. Shouldn't probably work against either one of those. Yeah. Judseal, that does huge lightning damage to all enemies, front and back row. Damn. Zyva, that increases the damage of the entire row and can give him the ability to kill undead. Delphus decreases the evade of a row of enemies. I want to say like by 10 or something. I mean, if it hits, so yeah. Call does ice damage to a row of enemies. Yeah. Coretta does huge fire damage to all enemies. Ash will attempt to kill lesser enemies on impact. This is considered an upper enemy, so it doesn't work. If I would have used it on like fire giants or red slimes, wyverns, ogres, maybe ogre lords, that would have worked. But shit like chimeras, lesser demons, greater demons, malefics, things like that won't work. The cult is large ice damage to a row of enemies. Dips decrease the evade of all enemies. You actually saw me use this one on Bushin in the last episode. And evade lowering spells only stack once. I mean, -10 to evade, that's actually a lot. Like Undepths allows recovery from the condition of dark fog. I think I might have shown this one already, but you can see the dark fog trap actually makes it harder for you to see and just, yep, and All Beater. Punish is a higher end spell that attempts to kill all enemies. Merciful attempts to kill one undead. Like so. Nirvana makes a random miracle occur, but the user will pass out. Party's evade defensive ability is up. Evade +5. Diver increases everyone's strength and gives the ability to kill undead. Jakal does huge ice damage to all enemies. It's still fucked up, but it still did massive damage. And here we have the leap spell, which you've also seen me use a few times. Instant warp back to town. Valhalla pretty much does the same thing as Nirvana, except you get to choose what actually happens. Made heal my strength, halt to farm a mutated chant, give us strength by the magic moon. I don't remember what any of this shit does. And it drops a level. Manga spells were sealed. It still doesn't really help since I don't really know what the fuck the other things do. And I think there's like other options. Let's just see what the other stuffs are for options. Return to where you belong. May heal my strength. May the invisible blade dwell in us. I don't know what the fuck that means either. So I never really used Valhalla. When I heard that it like drops a level, I just never really bothered with it. Return to where you belong. Let's just see what that does. Monsters will blast it away. Okay, well they killed, teleported out, run away. What is that considered? Okay, I killed them. Okay. So it just does various effects. You just have to really just cast and see what each one does. I'm not going to sit there and go through all of them. So just look at it and see. I mean, if you want to, that's up to you. But I'm not going to sit here for like 30 fucking casting to see what spells do what. So, and lastly, Megadeth does nuclear fire damage to all enemies. You suck, bitch. So that's all the sorcerer spells. I'm now going to go back and show all the pre-spells. Okay, pre-spell number 1, Bless, increase the evade of one person by 10. Fill restores small HP to one person. Barret inflicts non-elemental damage to one enemy. Coat raises the agility of one person, but mine's already capped out, so it's not going to really do anything. Conair increases the evade of the entire row. Strain attempts to paralyze a row of enemies. Like so. You see little lightning shock wave thingies on them to let you know that they're paralyzed or stunned. And now physical attacks will do double damage. So Rome will attempt to mute an entire row of enemies, preventing them from casting spells. And it works. Kaneru increases the evade of the whole party. You saw me use that with the final boss. Stufffield does a large amount of HP to one person. Well, large-ish. Correction, that's a large-ish amount in comparison to how much hit points you have. Like at level 4, it's obviously not gonna, give you 150 fucking hit points back. It's only doing that because I have like a fuck ton of hit points right now, but it's comparison to whatever level you are. Okay, this crap took fucking forever. Paraskia cures paralysis. Have to go all the fucking way back down to the second floor to fight undead, because that's the only ones that can fucking paralyze. And Conco increases the agility of a row of people, like plus whatever the fuck. Fields does a large chunk of life for like the entire row, either front or back, just whichever you choose. Barrett's does large non-elemental damage to one enemy. Basically, like a souped up version of Barrett's. Paraskia cures poison. Have to come all the way to fucking B6 for things to poison me. Discord raises everyone's agility. Since agility is already capped, the field does a large amount to one person. Force does a huge non-elemental damage to one enemy, so it's like a triple Barrett's kinda sorta, or like Barrett's times 3 or something. Stipple does flame damage to a row of enemies. Kind of meh. Shoelard attempts to kill one enemy, kind of like the Sorcerer version, and it has no effect on undead, so it didn't work. Carcass will attempt to revive someone from death or ash state. Usually Carcass won't work or has trouble working at lower levels, so it's actually better off if you just bring them to the actual temple, because they have a higher probability of succeeding. I'm not saying they can't fail, it's just not likely that they'll fail. Amok inflicts non-elemental damage to a row of enemies. About maybe on par-ish with like probably like a high level force, maybe. Will restores all HP and status to one person, curing anything and everything except possess. Fear, I'm not really sure about fear. I've never actually been feared and then used it. I usually just go straight to the temple, but I guess I can assume it might work, but it won't work on possess, dead, or ash. But everything else is cured. And then full HP. Okay, Deadly will attempt to drop an enemy to like a critical condition. Not really sure what that means. I don't know if it's like critical health or... Cathedral is a higher tier resurrect spell that crap, I lost my fucking train of thought there for a second. A higher tier resurrect spell that has a higher chance of working. Restores full life. I don't really notice if Carcass did full life or not, or if it did just enough to resurrect them. And I don't know if I mentioned before, the Carcass and Cathedral spell, not only is it based on spell level, but it's based on faith level. The higher your faith of the caster, the higher chance it has of working. I'm not sure if the target's faith factors into it. That part I'm not sure about. But I do know the caster's faith is part of the equation. Excuse me. And lastly, Stigma inflicts huge damage to all targets. I believe it's non-elemental. Usually it'll say what element it is. If it just says damages targets, then it's usually non-elemental. So that's pretty much it. That's all the spells. Finish out this little crap right here, just because. And block. That's all what? How many freaking spells I had in this game? 50? No. Yes? Yeah, there's 50 spells in total, 25 for each category. Yeah, it's 25, and yeah, 25. Okay, yeah, so there's 50 spells in total, 25 priest, 25 sorcerer. That's all I'm going to do for this. In the description, I'm going to put a link to all the sorcerer spells, priest spells, all the different combines for each spell, as well as the mutated stones and the velums. So you can just like a quick reference to how to get them if you're unsure, or how to make them. So that's all I'm going to do for this episode. So until then, this is Save Night with Let's Play Wizardry Tale of the Forsaken Land. Later, guys.